7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. He ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road, hosted by the league ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with my brothers. This is episode 38, season 2 of our show. And today we're going to answer some questions about the NFL as the league enters the fourth quarter of the regular season. And we're going to talk about a man who rode a horse named Sassy.
Are we really going to talk about him?
Kevin, what's the score?
It's still tied, man. It's tied up 87% of the voters in, so we getting there.
As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. That's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's Instagram. Also, please check out our website, theleagueam.com. Our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors, where all of our content from this show, 32 Kings Road, as well as our second show, Confirmation Bias, is on as well. Diplomatic Immunity, visit our website for that. Shout out to Chief Diplomat Nick Blackman. Check out our game previews from Chef Curry that he puts out every week. Let's get this show on the road. Kev, what you sipping on, baby?
I'm sipping on this tropical punch by Minute Maid. And listen, the life expectancy on this shit is like 2 hours because I'm almost through it. If you can get you some, definitely do it. As far as sports-wise, I'm going to take it with baseball for a second. Over the weekend, the Marlins traded Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees. I'm going to say that again. The Miami Marlins, who are led by Mr. New York, Derek Jeter, as their COO, traded the 2017 MVP to the New York Yankees.
Boom.
That sounds like collusion.
Junior Blue, what you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a little apple Ciroc left over from the little mini vacay we took. Mm-hmm. And I'm also sipping on the fact that we are entering week 15.
Okay.
And there's 4 teams within one game of the last playoff spot in the AFC and NFC. Yeah. So these last 3 weeks is going to be popping.
Yeah. We took a little bit of a hit last week. First of all, I am sipping on tequila for the coffee trained. And we had a little bit of a hit last week with Omar Chicago Bears. They decided to, I forgot that they were playing an AFC North team, and that's the one. They're the champions of the AFC North. Let's rebound this week. First of all, we're going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. To rebound after their 1-point loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They play the Cleveland Browns. You all know what to do. Tease that line down 7 to even and take Baltimore to win. We've got the New Orleans Saints going against the New York Jets without Josh McCown, which means it's Bryce Petty time or it's Hackenberg time. Vegas made the line 15.5. Tease it down to 8 and take New Orleans to cover. That's going to be a blowout. And then finally, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles, who we will talk about a little bit later, and the New York Football Giants. They are 7.5-point favorites. That is the Eagles, despite losing Carson Wentz. Tease that line down 7. Take Philadelphia to win. I believe Davis Webb is going to make his inaugural appearance this weekend. So that's Baltimore to win. That's New Orleans to cover by 8. That's Philadelphia to win. Put $100 down. Thank the league ambassadors. Red O, what you sipping on, sir?
I'm sipping on Mr. Lomachenko and how he made his second fighter quit on the stool.
He's made 4. He's on 4 in a row now.
Yeah, but
I know.
he's making great fighters, not great, but very good fighters quit.
Nicholas Walters.
What's his new nickname?
No Mas Chinko.
No Mas Chink. No, that's what they gave
Mas
him. No
Chinko.
Mas Chink, because when you making good fighters quit, it's not even close.
Yeah, he's something special, man.
He's something special.
Dad. Welcome back, sir. You got to make up for last week, so you're double fisting. What you sipping on?
Not only am I dilly I'm sipping on two of these things. I'm actually sipping on 2 things as well. Really quick, I just wanted to go over something before it passes by. So the USGA, who governs the PGA Tour, has decided to do away with one of their most controversial rules, which is the call-in rule, starting in 2018. So if those of you who aren't familiar with that, basically a viewer of a show or a sporting event in the PGA, a fan can basically call in and say that they saw something wrong several holes ago and have the officials check it, and if it deems to be correct as the viewer saw it, then you can have strokes taken off of your score. So just imagine if that should happen in basketball. If someone said, yo, LeBron traveled in quarter number 2 with the 250 mark, that bucket can't count. You got to take it off.
Right.
So kudos to them for being forward thinking and one of the oldest.
For waking up.
This is stupid shit.
That's really stupid. So, but what I really wanted to sip on is as Omar alluded to, what a year it has been for boxing.
Yes.
It's been a lot of big fights, some epic battles, some duds, and some controversy. So since we only have one big, semi-big fight to end off 2017, which is David Lemieux versus Billy Joe Saunders for a WBO middleweight strap. Just wanted to discuss the year that we just had and look forward to 2018 as well. So I thought we should start with at least acknowledging some of the fighters that have called it quits this year. And to me, this is an extremely large and interesting list. So
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. again, Vlad Klitschko, Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, James Toney finally called it quits. Orlando Salido over the weekend called it quits. Jean Pascal, Takesha Mura.
John Pascal?
Yeah.
Wow.
After he won. Robert Guerrero, Nathan Cleverly, and Paulie Malignaggi.
Wow.
So I can't recall a list being so big.
I'm laughing because
out of
Bradley,
those 14,
Bradley doesn't know he quit.
Bradley doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Out of those 14, how many do you think is going to fight next year?
First of all, hey, no, you know what's funny? First of all, let's just hijack the segment, which has never happened. And kudos to you.
But
It was real shit too.
yeah, but
Boxers don't know how to retire.
so that's a large
That's a
list.
real question.
Eight of them are Hall of Famers. So
Absolutely.
that's a big and yes, that's a very valid question. I don't know. Some of them were beaten to
Right.
Some of them might need some bread. I mean, I thought James Toney had been retired, but I guess he finally called it quits. But what does that say? Well, first of all, why so many this year, and what does that mean for the sport? And Manny is not far off either.
Right. Well, let me draw a parallel to our football show and say that I think the attention that's being paid by football, by the NFL to concussions, I think, pardon the pun, it hit home for these boxers. And I think it's not a coincidence.
Bradley especially.
I think it's not a coincidence that as the NFL is receiving more and more attention and there's a greater spotlight being cast on the concussion issue, that you had all those names. I mean, we're boxing heads, so we know, but those are all 14 recognizable names.
There's
certainly.
more, but those were the most recognizable.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my thought on it.
And plus, there's more money out there. So if they making more money, if they smart about it, they can get out earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, boxing hasn't always been known as athletes that are rocket scientists. So hopefully they have been being more business minded and getting away from the promoters, and a lot of them are actually getting their own promotion companies. What do you see for the sport with those big names leaving? Like who's the next stars to kind of? There's a lot of big names.
This is becoming. Hey, I was gonna say this is becoming a league ambassador tradition. At some point in the show, we just extol the virtues of one
Errol Spence.
Spence. Because he's on the list.
He's on the list.
He's on the up and up.
And everybody else is behind him.
Everybody else is behind him.
I think Shakur Stevenson. I'll jump out there and say I watched the Olympics. Shakur Stevenson, he's got juice. Michael Conlon and both of those guys are under top
Omar
rank.
didn't really like Conlon.
You didn't like Conlon?
What about Tank?
He didn't look good. He did not look good in Saturday.
Come back, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look good Saturday. You're talking about Tank, Gervonta Davis.
He's out.
There's some lifestyle questions.
Yeah, definitely some lifestyle questions. But there are some. I mean, we haven't even talked about Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
The problem with Terrence Crawford
Canelo.
is he's behind Arrow. You know, like what is he gonna do?
He's a bigger name than Arrow though right now.
He can't fight Arrow.
He can. Just not right.
Any 147 can fight him.
Right.
But
Can any of them pull off a 12th round knockout like my man Doug Jones just did?
Whoa.
Doug Jones.
Wow.
He's the winner.
And that's
Dougie Fresh.
And that is it for a horse named Sass.
So, with everything that's going on this year, I wanted to ask you guys a couple of important questions because there were, like I said, there were a lot of bouts. There were a lot of things to think about and things that stuck out. What do you think, piggybacking off of Omar sipping on, was the most disappointing fight of the year?
You can start right there.
Doug Jones, Roy Moore. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's funny. Lomachenko, Rigondeaux, like, I went to sleep. Omar called me, and I set my alarm to get up to go, and I slept through it. I woke up and I watched it, and I knew that something was wrong because there were no messages on the phone. None of you guys had said anything in the chat. There was not even a word
It
about
took
the
one
fight.
round.
Yeah, me and Omar were perplexed.
It took one round.
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, nah.
Well, what about Canelo versus Chavez? That was very disappointing as well, in a different way. Because y'all put money
Yeah,
on
but the
that.
difference is, but that was more of a hope and a prayer. If you would have said the skill of Rigondeaux
Right.
versus the skill of Lomachenko, there was no way I thought that fight was going like that.
Right. He definitely quit, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but you could... we didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but the size was definitely a big factor, and the fact that he didn't want to exchange.
The skill.
Yeah, it was everything: the size, the skill, the speed. He was just
everything. I mean, I think he got old that night.
nah. I think he got outboxed.
I think Lomachenko is a robot.
He is unreal.
Yeah, he is.
The Chavez Canelo. Yeah, I see
that.
why you say that. It was money on that. We just, we all. I believed, especially when he made weight. Yeah, it was like, he was serious.
Yeah.
But for him, that was the fight.
But you know what?
The fight was to make weight.
I think part of it is because we really, we don't like saying it, but we really thought Canelo was a hoe. Because he do hoe shit. So it's like,
he has hoish tendencies.
So it's hard to give him credit.
Every time I see you, I think hoe.
We have to give him credit now because he proved it in the ring. With GGG, but he has hoe tendencies.
Well, that goes to my next question.
Okay, let's go.
Because what's the biggest robbery of the year?
GGG.
Horn versus Pacquiao, or Triple G versus Canelo being a draw. Obviously, Jeff Horn. I think it's Jeff Horn, right? Whatever his name is.
Australia.
Yeah.
Side note. Okay, so we got Les, who hijacked the segment earlier. Now we got Radio Raheem over here, Devin.
What?
He talking real tender. He just right here.
Hey, I'm sick, bird. Sick, bird. I'm just getting over the sick. But
Radio
Raheem. That's interesting.
118-112 Adelaide Bird.
110,
for that fight.
118, 110.
110.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get suspended because of a fight.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can definitely ride with that.
Yeah.
What do you think was the biggest fight of the year? But I have a list.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Oh no, I would say Triple G and Canelo just because of the names and the fact that, like Omar said, Canelo actually came to fight. It was a good fight to watch. Pulled everybody in, and it lived up to the hype to me. So it's the one I go with.
Is that what what is the
criteria?
Yes, criteria for biggest fight.
Biggest fight of the year. So I had some lists. That's one of them. Klitschko versus Joshua, McGregor versus Mayweather, Ward Kovalev 2.
I mean, technically, the biggest fight of the year was Floyd and McGregor.
That's why I said.
But that was some bullshit.
The biggest boxing match of the year, though, was
GGG Canelo. Exactly. My favorite is Andre Ward knocking the fuck out of Kovalev.
Yeah.
What about bringing the heavyweights back? Klitschko Joshua was a great all-time great heavyweight.
Listen,
fight.
so I know I know you're getting to it, but that's my fight of the year.
that was the top of my list.
Yeah, that's my fight of the year.
All right, and so that's y'all have that.
As a fight of the year, the biggest fight to me is the Mayweather McGregor, for obvious reasons. But that to me was the fight of the year
because it brought the heavyweight.
We need an American. An American's got to be in that equation. If you're talking about heavyweights, an American has to be in that equation.
We got one.
I had that. I had that as well, but I also had one that's probably going to get overlooked because the names are less. But Badu Jack versus James DeGale early in the year was a great fight.
And James DeGale was still reaping the benefits or the consequences. I know he's still reaping the consequences from that.
And then we had
benefits.
Triple G and Canelo, and then the last one was, I'll say this once, and we're gonna refer to him as something else after this. Suriskat Sor Runvisi. We call him Bamboo.
Yeah.
Versus Chocolatito 1.
That's his fucking name is Bamboo.
You know what? I went fight of the year with Klitschko and Joshua because of the heavyweights, because it's a great heavyweight, and the way the fight went, you know. But folks, if you have not seen Bamboo versus Chocolatito 1, that's the fight to see.
And if you are a faint of heart, don't watch it.
I actually gave honorable mention to Thurman versus Garcia and Brook versus Spence. Spence and Brook was one of my favorite fights to watch. Who do you think the fight of the year is?
Lomachenko.
Hands down?
I agree.
Over Joshua or Crawford?
Crawford
cleaned out the division.
You know who I agree with Lomachenko, but you know who my runner-up is? Jermell.
Oh, okay.
Charlo?
Because he's transformed as a fighter. He is the most improved fighter of the year.
Good call, Omar. Yeah. That's a really good call. Jermell Charlo, to tie it back to your opening question about who's next, watch these Charlo twins, Jamal and Jermell, in addition to Errol Spence. The Charlo brothers are coming.
Jamel they need to test him for PEDs. Just that kid has transformed himself into a great fighter.
Go watch the Lube and Charlo fight. Spend about a minute and a half.
Hold on. Kev.
Yo, this time more really is less. But I had to go Lomachenko. He's the one fighter other than Mike Tyson that when I watch him fight, I'm actually afraid for the person he's fighting. Like that dude the other night, man, I wanted to jump in there and save him.
But you know who we should give it to just because he's retiring and he is the SOG, and that's Andre Ward, man.
I had him in there as well.
Yeah, shout out to Andre Ward.
Because he did knock out Kovalev.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Speaking of knockouts, I want to go around the room. I'll start with you, Kev. And the question is, KO of the year. Who you got?
I think Les may have took my thunder, but yeah, Charlo and Lubin. And I say that because I watched that knockout maybe 6 or 7 times before the show, and I still don't know where he hit him. It was so quick, and then he laid and his arms were all up, and feet he looked like Tom Savage.
He was doing the running man out there.
It was ugly.
Him and Tom Savage were in the same marathon.
Omar, who did you have?
I actually got a tie between Jermell and Mikey.
Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, mainly because
Mikey versus however you say his name.
Z.
Dejan Zlatikanin.
Yeah.
Mikey's face, he looked like a serial killer when he saw the man was open. His eyes got so big, and he destroyed that man. Like that's one of the rare times where you get a close up.
Well, he jumped across the ring to hit him.
Yeah,
he gave all his force.
I had the chin checker getting his chin checked by Lemieux.
Curtis
that might be my
Stevens. Yeah, Curtis Stevens, he got knocked the fuck out.
He got to stop.
I had Charlo again, Jermell Charlo Lubin. I mean, electric knockout. Question though, guys, Mikey Garcia or Lomachenko?
Well, let's run it.
I think Mikey's too big for him to fight.
You think Mikey's too big?
Mikey
for
just went up to 147.
No, Lomachenko's
he'd have to go.
tiny.
He have to go up to 135.
And I don't think he can. Maybe if this happened 5 years ago, I don't think Mikey can go back down that far.
So to piggyback off of that, are those things that you guys want to see in 2018? Because there's a bunch out there.
Yeah, I want to see that. I mean, you could make an argument. I'm just focusing on Lomachenko because the dude is legit. I'd be interested to see
what I was telling Dev that night was there's no one else for him to fight.
Leo Santa Cruz.
There's no one else for him to fight.
Understood. Listen. You get no fight from me, brother. I'd be Santa Cruz. I'd be interested in seeing that.
I want to see
His
it.
activity
but,
would be interesting.
His Santa Cruz's activity versus Lomachenko.
Lomachenko is he's good with activity or no activity. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Yeah, Wilder versus
Joshua, please.
Yeah,
then that would be the biggest fight.
Yes,
we got our American.
I do want to see TC go against God's lineup. And if that would be
Danny first.
Ooh, I want to see that. TC has some good fights out there. He can go.
And Bob's with it. Bob knows. Bob Arum. That's you know what? That's the thing I'm most excited about for 2018 is that Bob Arum is going to come around and Terrence Crawford is going to fight. Eventually, he's going to get the belt first. After he's going to beat on Jeff Horn.
Or if Jeff Horn doesn't win, whoever, right?
He's gonna get the belt, and then he's gonna line him up.
Yeah.
He's gonna take off.
Welterweight division should be exciting because we know who we think is going to be the king of the division, but he's not there yet.
All right, time for our Brexit Bootbag Award winner, Red O. Take it away.
Well, first I'm gonna have to apologize for the foul language, but I need you guys to understand why he's the Brexit Bootbag Award winner. So I quote, "Fuck both of y'all hoe ass niggas, pussy ass cops. I bet I get out. I got more money than y'all. Y'all ain't got enough money for me, pussy ass crackers, broke ass niggas." Yes, a grown fucking man in the NFL said that shit while in handcuffs. Fucking idiot. What's his name, Omar? Malik McDowell. In Atlanta at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
And where did they play?
And then in Jacksonville.
So he flew to Atlanta for that.
Just to go to the club. So just to break you down how he got to that point.
Right.
He went to a club with his friends. He's drunk
The night before
a game. So whatever happens inside the club, they put him out. He's arguing with the security and his friends about $600 that he says he paid. His friends are telling him, no, you didn't pay that shit. You tripping. So eventually they let him back in. Tables are turned over again. That's when the cops are called. And they put him back out. And when he's in handcuffs is when he went off on the cops. I don't have to say the quote again because what
You don't. You said it very well the first time.
Hey, haven't talked like that in a long time. But Mr. Malik McDowell, you are our Brexit Bootbag Award winner.
Man.
He definitely gets a golf clap.
he gets a golf clap for that.
Never thought Ray Maluga would be outdone.
Yo, $40.
Right, for $600.
And that was to a female cop.
Oh, yikes. Oh, wow. Let's keep moving. Let's
Dilly.
Let's get to our football tea. Really interesting week. We're in a really pivotal point in the season. We're coming here down the stretch. We'll start with quarterback injuries. I'm going to read a list of names here for you guys. Sam Bradford, Deshaun Watson, Ryan Tannehill, Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz.
He always injured.
There's been a lot of injuries to frontline quarterbacks here, and the question I want to ask you guys is it time to reevaluate for teams to reevaluate how they prioritize, how they scout, how they develop that backup quarterback position? Because this feels like the new norm now, and injuries across the board are up. Devastating injuries across the board are up. But when you talk about the quarterback, I think we all are in agreement that is the most important position in the field, and on the field, I should say. And if your frontline quarterback is gone and you've got to go to the backup, are you feeling really good if that backup is Nick Foles and you're 11-2?
Well,
I'll start with you, Redo.
Backup doesn't have to be Nick Foles. There's other quarterbacks out there. They just won't give a shot. But to get back to where we at. Dilly! Well, for me, it's a great question, but you have to totally change the rules of football and college football. Because in order to bring up your backup, you have to take away snaps in practice from the starter. And now that a lot of college teams don't run NFL offenses.
Yep.
That means these starting quarterbacks have to learn how to play under center. So you're taking away from their production and their learning if you want to give more snaps to the backup quarterback.
It's an interesting, very interesting point. What do you think about that, Dad?
Well, for that particular question, I think you're fine if you're a Philly and it's Nick Foles because he's kind of been in that system in that town before. But as far as the overall problem, I think teams need to take the Tyrod Taylor or the Aaron Rodgers route. What I mean by that is because a lot of times they're drafting these quarterbacks and they're on shitty teams and they're throwing them in the fire. And then you fuck up their progression, their confidence, and they don't get a chance to actually grow, which is just look at Cleveland, Exhibit A.
Right.
Like, there probably could be some good quarterbacks in there somewhere, but it's just that's why I didn't want Deshaun to go to Cleveland. So if you are able to do that when you have either a starting quarterback or maybe even a borderline franchise quarterback to kind of groom him for the future, a lot of these teams wouldn't end up in those predicaments. The problem is, which is what you were kind of alluding to, is that those good players or good quarterbacks that you would draft to do that, those teams have other needs and they can't necessarily draft accordingly.
Well, I think that's part of the question, Kevin, and I'll go to you, is that maybe the backup quarterback that needs to go up higher on the totem pole in terms of priority in light of the new reality that is the NFL. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the list of guys that you mentioned, excluding Sam Bradford, what do all of them have in common? They like to escape the pocket and eventually take additional hits. So I feel like knowing that you have a guy that plays that style of football, you see what happened to Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
If they're going to play that style and risk getting injured, knowing that the quarterback is the most important position on the field, you usually pay him the most money. I think it's only smart that if losing him means the rest of your season is in the tanks, that you have to at some point develop a guy or have confidence in a guy coming off the bench that you can play him and your whole season's not washed down the drain. But I said it when the season first started that, and Omar alluded to it, but I'm gonna come out right out and say it. The NFL is cursed, and until they do right, everything they even think of is gonna fail.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Kevin. Are those your voodoo fingers?
For real.
Are those voodoo fingers?
That's the color purple. That's the Sealy finger.
That's the ceiling.
But listen, it's no coincidence, man. I'm just saying.
My problem with the whole situation is if you have a good backup, they're gonna want to start. You can't draft you can't draft somebody in the first round and think they're going to be a backup for the next 5 years. Because when you draft an Aaron Rodgers, when you draft Carson Wentz or Jeff Goff, you expect them to be your quarterback for the next 10 to 15.
Who's Jeff?
Jared Goff. You're talking about Horn the whole time. Yeah. You expect them to be your quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years.
Right.
So at what point do you draft someone else in the first round, second round that you can groom to be a good quarterback? How much money is A.J. Karen going to make this year?
I don't know how much A.J. Karen's going to make.
McCarron. How much is A.J.
Same amount as Jeff Goff.
How much is A.J. McCarron going to make?
Les is putting up 30 on y'all. He's not fucking with y'all.
How much is A.J. McCarron going to make this year, sight unseen?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, though. But I don't think that... I mean, if you do have one of those quarterbacks, you can't necessarily draft someone in the first round because, all right, our situation in Baltimore, right? Flacco's our franchise quarterback because he is. But we definitely need to start bringing someone in. But, goddammit, Christmas Day last year, we lost because we didn't have corners. We had to draft Marlon Humphreys. We're not going to draft a quarterback in that position because we have needs.
So here's the thing, though. All right,
If you expand rosters.
Okay, so everyone's talking about the backup quarterback from a draft perspective in terms of who to draft. You know, maybe the answer is just identifying a veteran. I mean, you look at Minnesota. Case Keenum is a journeyman veteran.
Hey, he hit.
But one thing I want to come back to though, Kevin, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You good?
Who said Les is putting up 30? Okay, so let me ask you this. Oh shit! I lost the question because I really wanted to ask you. Oh no! Are you saying that the emphasis on the type of backup quarterback you should have should be determined by the type of frontline quarterback? Meaning, if it's a quarterback who comes out the pocket, maybe they place a higher emphasis on the backup. Because I'm looking at it as it doesn't matter if you have an out the pocket or in the pocket quarterback. Maybe the emphasis on your backup should be higher for an organization. Hold on, I know you want to go, Omar. Kev.
Yeah, I agree. But to add to Les's point, though, I think the NFL can only blame themselves for having an influx of quarterbacks going down and ruining franchises because they put so much stock into the importance of the quarterback position. It wasn't this way 20, 30 years ago. You could have an average quarterback and still win. But if you're paying him 15 to 20% of your team's salary and having no contingency plan when you lose them, you set yourself up for things like this to happen.
Redo.
You got to balance that out.
It goes back to the college thing, man. It's not enough good quarterbacks out there, and if they're the college, NFL, and NCAA, basically that is their minor league system.
Yeah.
If the NFL made more of an insistence that these quarterbacks get, not trained better, but coached up more.
Yeah.
You would have quality backups who know their job is just to sit for a couple years.
Yeah.
But that's not what in NCAA, coach's life sucks. They want to win.
Exactly.
Well, to Les's point about backups, like good backups wanting to be starters, money talks.
Exactly.
So if they pay the backups more, yeah, you want me to sit here and hold the clipboard, even though I know I should be starting, pay me a little bit more. Maybe that would change it. Let's stay with the quarterbacks. Let's zero in on the Philadelphia Eagles. Question I got for you guys: are they still a Super Bowl contender despite losing Carson Wentz, Dad?
I think yes. I don't think they're a favorite. I think he's serviceable.
Nick Foles is serviceable.
He's serviceable.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just clarifying.
Yes, he's serviceable.
I'm
not saying that. I'm not saying that he's the answer, but he can come in and fill a role. They're very talented. Yep. They're rolling. We will see because of their schedule, and we talked about this a lot on the show. Now, if they do fall off, I think that it kind of proves how good Mr. Wentz is and how his MVP campaign is solidified to me.
Junior Blue, are they still a Super Bowl contender?
No. I mean, we had questions before they lost Wentz. So, I mean...
I'm on record.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, now you're going to a backup.
No, let's move on. There's only one Case Keenum in the league.
Kev?
I agree, and the point that you made, Kenyon, really started the show before this injury. I didn't think they were a Super Bowl contender. I thought they win a playoff game or two because of as great as Wentz was playing. They do have good help around him. I think Foles can step in, maybe win a playoff game, but they're not going to beat New Orleans. They can't beat the Rams in a playoff game. I don't think they could beat a team like the Falcons with Nick Foles as quarterback. If that defense gives up 14, 17-point lead, he can't bring them back.
On Monday, down in Miami, the New England Patriots, they didn't look too good, right? And I just want to say they had an 8-game win streak. These are the teams they've beaten in those 8 games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, trash. The New York Jets, trash. The Atlanta Falcons, okay. The Los Angeles Chargers, at that time, were trash, okay? And they beat them by 8 points. The Denver Broncos, trash. Les's Raiders.
Hey, you know what?
Not very good.
Dilly.
The Miami Dolphins.
He working on a triple-double.
The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Those are the teams that they beat during the 8-game win streak. Now, on Monday, they got no pressure on Cutler, and there was a lot of pressure on Brady. Granted, there was no Gronk, there was no Trey Flowers, there was no Kyle Van Noy. But is there cause for concern with the Patriots or nah?
Not at all.
Every now and then, fucking that motherfucker will give you a game.
They've lost 4 out of the last
name?
5 games in Miami.
Well, he's 7.
I don't know who fucking that motherfucker is, but Cutler. Cutler. Hey, see, that's why I had to ask the question
Because I don't even want to say his name.
No, Brady's 7 and 9 on the road in Miami.
And
it's hard in
out of the
South
last
Beach.
5.
Yeah, I get it. It's hard in South Beach. Kevin, concern or not?
I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I didn't even bother watching this game because I knew the Patriots were gonna blow them out. But no, I agree with you guys. They lay an egg, but they could very well play Pittsburgh next week, beat them, which I think is possible, and then this conversation doesn't even matter.
Really? But, I mean, you look at who they've beaten in those 8 games.
They can only play who's in front of them.
Right, but I'm saying it's not
They're
like...
struggling in some respects to bad teams.
They're right. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Chargers by 8. They beat the Falcons by a touchdown or a couple, or like 15 points. They beat the Jets by a touchdown. They barely beat the Bucks. They struggled to beat the Bills. Their best win is probably against the Falcons and the Dolphins.
Hey, man. Any given Sunday.
They're slow.
Gunplay is optional.
They're winning.
They're winning.
All right.
That's it.
Well,
Dilly.
Remains to be seen. Okay. Kevin, who's your MVP and why? We're at week 15. We're coming here. The main ones are Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, and then the recently injured Carson Wentz. Who do you have as your MVP?
Well, I think we're going to make history this year.
Okay.
I think the best player on the best team wins this award, and it's hands down Mr. Antonio Brown.
I'm with you.
It's me to say it.
Mm-hmm.
He will be the first wide receiver to win the Associated Press's MVP award. I think he deserves it. There is no one on the field, no combination of defenders that can stop him.
2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. I think he's going to get 2,000 yards, honestly. I think he will be the first receiver to get 2,000 yards. And considering that they list him at 5'10", he's really 5'9", 5'8 and a half, 170 pounds. This guy, to get 2,000 yards, it's going to be remarkable. He's definitely my MVP going in. Junior Blue, who do you have as your MVP?
I got another one of the killer bees, Le'Veon Bell.
Really?
Leading the league in yards from scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's on pace for 2,100.
Mm-hmm.
Number one team in the AFC. Leading the AFC. I mean, won the AFC North already. And he got a quarterback who got his foot out the door for retirement.
You think Le'Veon Bell's more valuable than Antonio Brown?
I think so. I think he aids Antonio Brown getting open.
Yeah.
Dad?
First name Russell, last name Wilson.
Yeah.
Only because although they're I think they're outside of the playoffs at the moment.
Right.
But he has to be fucking perfect every week just to carry them. They have no run game. They have 1.5 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is banged up, and they are 8-5.
They're 8-5. They
They're
got
still there.
Still got a chance to win the division.
He's
Sunday
doing
against,
everything.
yeah, cooking, cleaning, washing dishes.
Yeah.
Redo.
I have 2. Neither one of them deserve it, but I'm going with one.
What?
Case Keenum is my runner-up.
Okay.
It's fucking Case Keenum.
Hey.
You wanted Bridgewater back in there.
Hey.
I mean, it doesn't matter. What he doing is
That's an interesting call.
It's worthy of note.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the guy who is 40 years old and who Mr. Aids has openly questioned was going to have a bad year this year in Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And that's just out of respect. To do what he's doing as long as he's doing, man, it's insane.
He's leading the league in passing yards and QB rating. He's third in touchdowns. His touchdown to interception ratio is number 1. I mean, it is remarkable. My whole thing was we had never seen it done.
Never.
At 40.
Not like this.
And this, I mean, he is a real life Benjamin Button.
He called it. I remember the email he sent when they were talking about when Peyton Manning was going to retire. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna play for 10 more years."
Wow. Shout out to Phillip Rivers. With the LA Chargers coming on, that defense has been nice, but Phillip Rivers is...
Oh, my chain and day.
Phillip Rivers is making some noise. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Baker Mayfield this weekend won the Heisman Trophy, which is given to... It is the most prestigious award in college football. It's given to... the best player,
The best quarterback.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
in college football.
99% of the time.
Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma quarterback, 41 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4,340 yards, 71% completion rate. Led Oklahoma to a record of 12-1. They are 3, I think, in the polls. They're in the college football playoff. Scouts generally like him. The biggest knock against him is that he's short for a quarterback. He's 6-footer. Question I got for you guys is, number one, which team should he go to? And number two, is he a first-round pick? Junior Blue, starting with you.
High first round.
High first round.
Wait,
like
is the
top
question,
10?
should he be or
Top
is
10.
he?
Should he be a...
Because
should
there's
he
a
be
difference. He will be.
Yeah,
he
should
will
he be?
be.
Should he be a first-round pick, and which team should he go to?
And he most likely will be going to the Giants.
So you think
High.
he's a top 5 pick?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I mean, all the tools.
I
the
think
only
me
knocks,
and him, we agree with the same team, but we have different reasons why.
I mean, the knocks against him is his character. Mm-hmm. And
He's short.
And he's short, but we have short Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. I mean, there's other short.
Are you
quarterbacks.
but are you putting him on the
Thank
level
you.
of those players?
I mean, you can't put them there yet, but we do have short quarterbacks.
He's Colt McCoy. He's going to be a career
no.
backup.
No.
Omar's
No.
trying to establish authority here. There's only one hijacker in this group. God damn it, it's me. Redo.
The only reason why I'm saying this is we have the same team.
Yeah.
But he thinks
That
he's
it's the
gonna-
Giants.
Yes.
So you think the Giants are taking him at 5?
Yes.
Or whatever they end up at?
It's the ability that he possesses because their O-line is trash. He's a mobile quarterback, but he doesn't run as much as he's mobile to get away from the rush so he can throw down.
He extends plays.
Yes.
Gunslinger.
And you need that with that O-line. I just don't think he's going to be successful in this league. I think he's going to be a career backup.
Kev?
I agree that he goes to New York, but I think he goes to the Jets.
Okay.
And I say that because they need some type of excitement. They definitely need a quarterback after the one McCown brother moved so fast that he broke his hand. So they definitely have to find a replacement. But it's the Jets, man. They would do some shit like
Shout out
that.
to John Oliver.
Dad. Hold on. Is he a first rounder? Well, I think is he? Yeah. Should he be a first rounder?
Should he be? No, but he will be because these are the Jets.
Same answer.
Yeah.
Dad.
I don't think he should be. I have seen
You
him.
don't think he should be?
I don't think he should be.
Okay.
I think he would benefit from what I said earlier about backup quarterbacks. He needs to sit behind someone. He shouldn't be thrust out there.
Okay.
The problem is that you're going to have people, you're going to have new coaches coming in from these shitty teams with these high picks. They're going to have to make an impression, and they're going to pick him up. I don't actually have a team that he should go to because I think he should sit.
So what have you seen? Because I know we've seen probably out of this group, we probably have seen the most Baker Mayfield games. What have you seen? Oh, you've seen it. You've seen Drew Blue.
What I see is I see somebody that's highly competitive. He has that Drew Brees in him, but I see that he misses some reads.
Yep.
He throws late across the middle.
A little loose.
He's a little loose. He is short.
Yep.
And he has highly benefited from playing against Big 12 defense.
He's going to be a locker room killer and a coach killer because of his
Omar's taking a strong position.
Yeah.
He has ability that will be the type of thing that fans will want.
Yeah.
So and if the starter is messing up, the coach will feel pressure to put him in, but he's not going to be successful.
Fans and teammates love him.
You know who he reminds me of in terms of his competitive verve and spirit? He reminds me of Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
And I think that's where he should go. I think he'd be a great Los Angeles Charger, and then he could sit for 2 years behind Phillip Rivers and hopefully develop some maturity and
I
some
think we're
restraint.
starting to get a
Late
picture
fir-
of
Hey.
who he's going to pick.
We've got to look at the cheerleaders first. All right, and then finally, if the playoffs were today, we're going to go around. Everybody's going to give their playoff projections as it is right now. Again, we're in Week 15. I'll start with you, Kev. Give me your rundown of the playoffs if they happen today. There's no Ravens in there, so you can't say the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl.
Because we still have 3 weeks of football left. So the Bills play the Bills would play the Jaguars, right?
Correct.
That's a wash. Buffalo shouldn't even show up. I think outside of that, my picks remain the same from 2 weeks ago. And my Super Bowl pick stays the same. I have the Saints beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Redo.
Dilly.
Mine stay the same. In the end, it's Patriots versus Steelers, Falcons versus Saints, and then Patriots Falcons in a Super Bowl.
That.
Mine definitely changes because I had Eagles Patriots.
Okay.
So I had Rams Falcons in a wild card. Rams, Saints, Panthers, Saints. Then I had Eagles versus Saints, Saints. Vikings versus Rams, Vikings. And I have the Vikings getting to the ship at the crib.
The Vikings at the crib,
At
huh?
the crib, first
Okay.
time ever in history. Jags, Bills, Jags. Now it's Chiefs, Titans.
Yep.
Chiefs, because Mariota's hurt.
Yep.
As of this second.
As of this second.
Yes.
See, these are the things
Yep.
Yeah.
I did say that, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Keep going.
And we got Steelers versus Chiefs. Steelers. Pats, Jags, Bill Belichick. And we have Steelers, Patriots. And before I had the Patriots, today I have the Steelers.
The Steelers.
Yeah, they're playing the best ball.
Steelers versus Vikings.
Don't do it to me.
Oh, one team's wearing purple. One team is the Steelers.
I know who I'm picking.
My heart. You know what? Fuck it. Home team wins for the first time ever.
Get out of Dodge. Bless.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in everything. I got Jags over Bills.
Okay.
Chiefs beat Titans.
Okay.
Steelers over Chiefs.
Okay.
Jags over Patriots.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Over Patriots.
I am with you.
So then we
then-
got Steelers.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we got then in the NFC we have Rams over Falcons, Saints over Panthers, Saints over Eagles, Vikings over Rams, Saints over Vikings, and Saints over Steelers.
You got the same. Okay, so we have the same Super Bowl. Only difference is and I think Devin said the same thing. I got the Falcons beating the Rams. I think that experience matters. Falcons going to the Super Bowl last year. They're not going to have a problem being on the road. It's not like it's going to be an intimidating home field advantage.
Yeah,
I like the
outside.
I like the
on grass.
It's outside on grass.
I don't think it matters.
Matty Ice has played on grass.
The pretty
Yeah.
people will show up though.
Yeah, nah. I like
The beautiful people will show up.
the beautiful ones.
Yeah.
I like the Falcons over the Rams, and then I like the Falcons over the Eagles actually. So it's a NFC South battle, Saints Falcons. I like the Saints. In the AFC, I'm exactly with you. I like the Jags to beat the Patriots as it is right now.
Yep.
That defense and them being able to run the ball with
Blake
Leonard Fournette.
Bortles.
It won't be about Blake Bortles. It won't be about
Belichick
Blake
will
Bortles.
be
Yes, it will. And then Saints Steelers. I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers overall. I just too many weapons. Steelers Super Bowl. So we will see how that goes. At this time, this is the second time we've run this segment. It's Kevin's turn. They get paid for it. We're giving it to you for free. We're right, they're wrong. Kevin, talk about the NFL's image problem.
Hold on, Kevin. The technical term is they get paid to be wrong, but we're right.
Okay.
And by the end of this segment, you will agree with that statement.
Yeah.
So pour yourselves a drink and get ready for the story here. So as Kenyon mentioned, surprise, surprise, the NFL has yet another controversy on its hands. But this time, the players and the owners are in bed with this one. They can't point the finger at each other. This past weekend, it was reported that the NFL Network suspended former players and current analysts after a lawsuit emerged against Marshall Faulk, Ike Taylor, Heath Evans. It also included Donovan McNabb, Warren Sapp, and Eric Davis for alleged sexual assault in the workplace against a former network employee. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what they were accused of doing because I personally was disgusted after reading it. And it takes a lot to discuss someone like me. But I would say that, and then granted, each person in this case, of course, deserves, the right to defend themselves and, due process. But with the recent wave of public figures being held accountable for their actions, I think the chickens are finally coming home to roost for the NFL. And they now have to answer for a very long history of perpetuating an environment where women are consistently, mistreated. And because the players make extreme amount of money and, they're treated like heroes in our society, people turn a blind eye to some of their actions and their behavior. And I think with such a large male audience in the NFL, they could very well become the poster child for sexual harassment the same way it became the face of domestic violence. So I think it's on the NFL, both players, owners, and even us fans to lead the discussion about all men no longer acting like fuckboys when it comes to respecting women. Even if you aren't committing, certain acts, I think we all know at least one person, that one guy who's a habitual line stepper, and I think it's on us now to check them and hold each other responsible.
Who's that guy, Kevin?
I won't speak on that, but I'm going to end my monologue with this message to all the beautiful women out there in the workplace, in the worldwide arena of sports. If you're tired of analysts who get paid to do that job, sending you dick pics and dancing behind you at the show prep meeting, come to TLA. We got you, boo.
Wow.
They get paid for it and we don't.
Don't come to TLA, boo.
Hey, foreshadow.
Please stay where you at.
Oh my God. Kevin, you make it really difficult. That was really good. There's so much I want to say, but that was really good. All right, let's get to our Week 15 game picks, fantasy recommendations. Oh, Lordy Jesus. Tomlin has been looking. It might be the best game of the season. Mike Tomlin's been looking forward to it for a really long time. We know because he told us 3 weeks ago.
Which is very un-Mike Tomlin-like.
So we'll start with you, Redo.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Who you got? Pittsburgh at home? Mm-hmm. It's not even a question.
It wasn't last week either.
Kevin.
If there's anyone equipped to come up with a game plan to get the ball out of Antonio Brown's hands, it's Bill Belichick. I'm picking him by default.
Who?
The Patriots by default.
Dad?
I think they continue to play off of emotion, and the Steelers win at home. I don't like it.
He just lost a year off his life.
Junior Blue?
I don't like it.
I actually got the Patriots.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your reasoning?
My reason is when Belichick goes into Pittsburgh and plays Pittsburgh, they always come up with the game plan to shut down the killer bees, basically. And then they implement this short passing attack that kills Pittsburgh. And I think it's going to be the same thing.
The short passing attack is interesting, especially because that offensive line of New England has got a lot of leakage and there's a lot of pressure that Pittsburgh generates. The only thing, though, is in the playoffs last year, Le'Veon Bell was hurt. He's not hurt now. So if you take away Antonio Brown, as you said, Kevin, still got to answer. Exactly. You still got to deal with Le'Veon Bell.
They miss Shazier, though.
I like the
Mike is acting like he got a plan.
I like this. Part of it is
the head coach in the NFL. He got
to. But part of it is also we know that Le'Veon Bell had half a leg in the playoffs. Yeah. He's healthy now. I like the Steelers in that game. 2 P's: pressure and pound Le'Veon. We've got Kansas City against Los Angeles. That's how you keep it moving. Kansas City versus Los Angeles on the most
meaningful game.
This is the most meaningful game of the week on Saturday night. Junior Blue.
I got Seattle. Close game.
You got Seattle, but we're on Kansas City.
I'm sorry.
He's hit the triple-double. Lonzo Ball is in the room.
That's 10 assists.
I got the Chargers.
That's a true Raiders fan.
Because why am I supposed to pick either one?
Hey, actually, he got the 10th assist on the line. That's a lie.
But to help the Raiders out, the Chargers actually have to win.
So you picked the Chargers for that reason?
Yeah.
That
to help with what?
hey, hold on. We only 1 game out.
Okay.
Oh, let's stop it.
How many games out of y'all?
None.
Y'all out. So y'all 1 game out, right?
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it. That hottest team in the league right now.
The Chargers.
Chargers.
Chargers. Kev?
To help the Ravens out, we also need the Chargers to win.
So we're all on the Chargers, huh? I'm on the Chargers too. All in with Anthony Lynn.
We see.
All right.
Whole episode.
Speaking of foreshadowing, let's go to where Les was actually at. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. in Seattle. I actually got the Rams on a rebound game from Sean McVay, a.k.a. the Madden boy genius.
You doubling up?
Yeah, I'm doubling up. You got to hedge your bets, baby. McVay came out this week, said that the loss... McVay came out this week, said the loss against Philadelphia this Sunday was on him. Bad play calling. I look for him to avenge that. Plus, with a banged-up Seahawks defense, which Dad talked about earlier in the episode, I like the Rams to win on the road. Junior Blue, who you got?
I got Seattle banged-up cornerbacks for the Rams also. I think it's going to be a close game in Seattle because they're on a rebound game too.
Okay.
I have the Rams for the simple fact that they always beat them once a year when they shouldn't. And now it's time to fuck a walk.
Okay.
As my Jamaicans would say, same team.
Same team. Kevin.
I agree. Rams.
All right.
I'll lone wolf that one.
Fantasy picks. Actually, speaking of Lone Wolf, let's get those records. And we're gonna pull up the records for one reason. It's not because Dad had a bad week. Daddy is home though. It's because Red O. Look at Red O.
Hey, everybody had a shitty week.
Yeah, well, Red O had a great week.
He had a good week. Yeah.
And
How the hell am I
Kev, I told you.
Yo,
you went 4-12, B.
Kevin, you had a rough Sunday, brother.
Is that the worst Sunday?
4-12?
4-12?
No, I'm sure Joe had an 0-11. I'm sure Joe had an 0-11.
He was all red the whole
Yeah. All right, let's get to our fantasy recommendations. I'll start it off. I've got Julio Jones going against Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary. Last time he did that, he got 253 yards. I also recommended him that week, so we're going to do a double up on Julio Jones. I like Le'Veon Bell against New England for the simple, what Kevin said. I think that they focus in on Antonio Brown, and I think Le'Veon Bell gets off, and I like Drew Brees going against the New York Jets. He's had like 10 days off, and the Jets are done. The goose is cooked. Josh McCown's hurt. Drew Brees gets off. Junior Blue, who you got?
I got Russell Wilson going against the Rams.
Yep.
I actually think LaShawn McCoy is going to get off against the Dolphins, and then I have Julio Jones also.
All right, Dad.
Matt Ryan. Wide receiver, Keenan Allen.
All right.
He's going to eat.
Okay.
And for flex, Mr. Alex Collins versus.
Hey.
Oh, you like Alex Collins, huh?
He bought out.
He stopped fumbling. He'll be all right. Redo, who you got?
Drew Brees.
Uh-huh.
And I'm taking Nino because I think they're going to try and stop him, but that boy is unstoppable this year.
Nino Brown.
And my flex is Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Yes, Kev.
That boy's special.
He's
I'm
real
going
special.
with Phillip Rivers against the Chiefs. Jordan Howard. Hey, Omar.
Yeah.
And my receiver, Adam Thielen against Holden ass Drake.
He can't stop holding Kenny Kev.
Hey.
Yeah.
This has been a fun episode of 32 Kings Road. We will see you next week. We're actually going to have some female energy next week, so we're looking forward to it. We got a special guest, Janet Foster Brown, as well as our number one diplomat, Jasmine Cameron. Jasmine Cameron will be here next week, so it'll be a lot of fun. This has been another episode of 32 Kings Road.
Don't piss her off because she will put you in the headlock.
Please follow us everywhere
She's sitting by you, Omar.
on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. That's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's Instagram. Also, check out our website, theleagueam.com. Kevin, what you want to say as we get out of here?
Less. All we need is 42 more shows like that, and you will break Russell Westbrook's triple-double.
We will see you next week. Cheerio.
Dilly.
7 names, down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on a tease with the streak for the cash. ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in.